Well, let's stay with that story now. We can speak to Mark Montgomery, who's a retired US Navy Rear Admiral. Mark Montgomery is also a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and previously served as policy director of the Senate Armed Services Committee. A long title for you there. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Just talk to us about what's going on in Kherson then at the moment. A lot of Ukrainians, of course, are very suspicious of the move, aren't they?
They are, but you have to look at this. This is a military maneuver by Russia that's both logical and embarrassing for Putin. I mean, this is a retreat, but it's also repositioning his forces for the winter. And as the Ukrainians go in, I think they have to be very careful, looking for booby traps, looking for any left behind soldiers. But this is a retreat, and it is an embarrassing moment for Defense Minister Shoigu, President Putin, and General Surovikin, the commander in the region.
What went wrong for them then? Did Russia just overestimate its abilities? I mean, we've heard a lot about the sort of issues of getting supplies into Kherson, haven't we?
Well, that's right. This was one of their achievements early in the offensive. Ukraine was concentrating its efforts around Ukraine and around Kiev, and we had the long siege of Mariupol. The Russians grabbed this early. In fact, I think only 5 weeks ago they made it part of an autonomous region that is now annexed to Russia. So obviously they overestimated their capability, and they were on the wrong side of the Dnieper River when the Ukrainians began to close and pin them down. I think they had to leave to preserve their forces and be able to fight during the winter and again next spring.
We were hearing from our correspondent, Jeremy Bowen, earlier, talking about how Russia doesn't have the fighting skills for an organized retreat. Do you agree with that assessment? And if so, what does it mean? I mean, are we expecting really heavy losses for Russia?
So I do think that the limited reporting I've seen on this has shown a little bit of organization. In other words, long, persistent artillery barrages while they extract their units. But as they have in other places, they're leaving behind a lot of destroyed gear, their own gear that they either had to destroy and sometimes failed to destroy in place, so the Ukrainians could take advantage of it. So I still think they have a lot of trouble maneuvering as a large-scale army. That's one of our big underestimation or overestimations of them that we in the West made in February and March, and you'll still see elements of that over the next 6 to 9 months, I think.
I suppose the concern is that Putin tries to do something to save face now, doesn't he? Something dramatic, because he can't sell this as a win at home, can he?
No, he can't sell this as a win. And I should say, and I think we should always say, this is an absolute demonstration of the incredible resilience of the Ukrainian people. I mean, the fact that they've been able to drive them back. This really does put Crimea at risk again. It puts the land bridge to Crimea at significant risk. And that's what Putin's got to be worried about. I think he would be unwise to do something dramatic right now, other than these cruise missile attacks that he's doing against the critical infrastructure of Kiev, which come with no punishment and no real sacrifice by him.